Welcome back, and time for our motivation segment. A lot of people have been waiting for this because it's 2024 and people want to know how to perhaps maybe set their goals for 2024, and that's what we're about today. Today we're joined by Isaahi Itwa, and today he's talking about, well, setting clear goals for 2024, the foundation of hitting 2024 for your personal and also brand growth. You're welcome, Isaahi. First off, I want to say thank you very much for making it on the very first show, the very first day of 2024. Everybody else canceled but you. In fact, there's a whole story about how he got here, but thank you very much for making it.
Wake up, Nigeria is family already.
Yeah,
So
thank you very much for making us your family.
Yeah.
We've accepted you as ours.
Yeah.
2024, a lot of people are waking up today, that's if they slept, and they're saying to themselves, this is how I want to strategize for 2024, whether it's a personal thing or whether it's their brand. Well, the right person to talk to is you. So what should people note going forward for this year onward?
Great. For starters, I'll tell you 2024 started 3 months ago. So if you really want to hit the ground running, you ought to have started earlier. Our conversation did not start today.
Yeah.
Right? And on that note, it's very essential that you set clear goals. And by that, there are basic frameworks for it. One very popular one is the SMART bit, which is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound.
Okay, say that again. SMART: specific, measurable,
Specific,
attainable,
relevant,
and time bound.
Now that's the fundamental. Now it's been extended. It's recently been extended to have an ER, so that you have a living document, right? I know the last time I was here, we talked about documentation and amplification. So you have a living document, and then the ER is literally for evaluation, right? And then reviewing.
Nice.
By reviewing, it's more like realigning, right? So
It's like
when
learning and development.
Thank you very much. So,
Exactly.
so when you set your goals, you're literally telling yourself, personally, I always have a grand strategy, a grand goal. So if I want 2024 to be a year for growth, as against just sustenance and maintenance, so all of my focus would be of, specific areas of my life, pillars, from spiritual to career to health, right? And social, which is more family, friends, and all of that. And across these pillars, you then have key objectives you want to achieve that are very, very specific, that you can measure, so that by the end of Q1, you can say, oh, I'm getting close to what a benchmark that I have for myself, away from what life could actually throw at you.
That's interesting. From everything that you said, there's one thing that I pick out that I'm going to use as a tenet for 2024, and that's that T in that smarter, time bound.
Yes.
There's one thing with people, and when they say, I want to do so and so, yes, they might get to it, but most people don't put a timeline to it. And for me, that seems to be the one critical factor that topples everything else. If you don't have a time to start, time to evaluate, time when you want to assess if you've actually done all that, then
yes.
Am I correct?
I totally agree with you. I recently put up something on LinkedIn. I talked about patterns, right? Whatever you're made up of, you're made up of your patterns, right? And patterns are things you even do daily. Right? Even if you have a set goal that you want to achieve in a quarter or half a year, it is something that you should be able to trickle down to your daily activities to ensuring that you hit that particular goal, right? So most people will come into 2024 and say, oh, this is the year I want to blow, and go very spiritual with it. But then you need to understand your definition of blow.
Exactly.
Right? And then what you have to do to make that happen.
Does it have to be monetarily? Does it have to be in terms of assets or what you gain? Is success defined by tangible elements, or are there other growth parameters or measures that we're not taking into consideration?
Great. I think I earlier said it, personally I work with about 6 pillars, spiritual, right, career-wise, it's personal, right? So it could be, oh, I want to get the promotion next, or I want to switch roles, on something else. For career, spiritual could be you wanting to grow in your faith and all of that stuff. Health could be, I want to hit the gym some more. I want to be, so how often do you want to hit? And, and then we're bringing the time. Yeah. So I have to hit the gym, twice daily for 30 minutes or so. Now it's specific, it's measurable. So by the end of the week, you can say, oh, I didn't hit the gym twice this week, So obviously I didn't hit my target or
Yeah.
my goal for the week. So it's
So
more
re-strategize for the
yes,
next week.
for next week.
Can I do all these things at once? Can I set goals, spiritual goals, social goals, professional goals, all at the same time and manage to get all of them? And what happens if I fail at this or at that? What do I do? Because that can really tear you apart. And sometimes you're like, I'm not doing it again, Joe.
Great. I recently came across a quote that says a lot of people failed because they succeeded. And it literally leans on dwelling so much on your successes or failures, right? So if you fail, come on, that's one of the greatest things that can happen to you, right? It's your ability to then get up and then move on to the next thing, charge and make sure you deliver on it. It's your goal.
Wow, that's very interesting. Out there, if you're listening or if you're watching, actually, take note. You can fail. It's part of the process. And when you do, it's just an indication that you should do more. At least you know what pitfalls to avoid, if I'm correct,
Totally
when you're
agree.
trying it out a second time. And you can have as many goals as you want. 2024 is a year of goals. Have them all. Carry all of them. If you fail, just continue to reassess, reevaluate, make sure that you're pushing, further. So what is your biggest advice for everybody, especially Nigerians, having in mind the times we're going through and things are really not easy? People had goals for 2023, but Nigeria had other,
Yeah.
So for us as Nigerians, into the year we're going into that we have stepped into, what advice do you have that could help people put things together rightly?
Great. Pace yourself.
Pace yourself.
Yes, know your race. If you're going for a marathon, then you should actually work on a steady pace for yourself because January will be noisy. A lot of New Year resolution,
tell me
right?
about
So the people that would actually stay through the test of time would be the people that actually paced themselves. And you see you go heavy even towards the end of the year, right? So pace yourself because Nigeria can happen to everyone.
Nigeria can happen. January will be noisy. January will be long. And January is a concert on its own. It's a concert where people don't come early.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, pacing yourself through it all is actually a very interesting, what do you call it, to use, method. Let me put it that way,
Yes.
to use. I don't know, it's going to be a big one.
It is.
How was your 2023? Let's ask you, the expert now. What
Wow.
did you achieve? Did you hit your goal? And what is your goal for 2024?
Great.
I want to learn from you. We're using you as
Okay,
sample
yes.
now. So.
So I'll focus on the career bit because the spiritual bit is more personal.
Okay.
And family as well. So career-wise was solid for me. I had it in mind to increase my press mentions, and I hit that over 100%.
Fantastic.
Industry. Great. I got a couple of industry awards. One of which was being named one of the top 35 under 35
Nice.
by Brand Communicators.
You're under 35?
Yes.
I would have thought you were 42 or something. I'm joking.
When I even got the call, yeah. So yes, that's one. A couple of international collaborations,
Nice.
and talks and all of that. So it was quite a wonderful
And
year.
for 2024?
More to come. Yeah, one which would even help young marketing professionals. And this is an exclusive. I'm supposed to have said it next week.
You're supposed to be collecting money for this.
Yes, as well. A mentorship program that will bring in a lot of marketing experts for young people. 1 month mentorship program by A1 company.
Fantastic. That's good. We're looking forward, and hopefully we will be a part of it as well.
Thank you very
That's
much. We
grand.
love that.
At least now we know what your year is like, so it's not just all talk and no do. You're
No,
doing as well. That's
definitely.
fantastic. Good to always take sample from the experts. And of course, if you're out there and you're only just starting off, we're all just starting out 2024. If these are your methods as well, then you are off to a good start. Take sample from what we've talked about here today for our motivation segment. Isaac, you are our final guest, so perhaps we're going to bring you into the kitchen to taste our jambalaya that we've been making all day. So you just sit tight. This is going to be the first time, I think, you're going to be enjoying
Yes,
our...
first time.
We look forward to it. Let's do a short break. By the time we get back, we'll be inside of the kitchen with Isaac, and we'll be having some jambalaya. We'll be back.